using bottled water in your coffee. You got the organic cashews. Man, he's living the good life.
You know, I drive by Whole Foods. I don't go inside, but I'm like, man, those people live large, so let me go get some organic cashews from Publix. Because, like, that container would probably be like $90 at Whole Foods.
Definitely more than 10.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Easily more than 10.
Yeah. It is nice, though. Every time I would go and shop for the people that I work for, and I walk into Whole Foods, I'm like, there are brands in here that I've never heard of.
Yeah.
Why does everything look so nice? Even the cookies look like they're organic, homegrown.
Those are
like
the expensive brands that aren't made by child slaves.
Yeah, this is true. This is true.
Yeah. Walmart wouldn't know anything about that.
No, they covered up very well.
No, their stuff is exclusively child slaves.
Yeah. So we can bring the savings to you.
That's right. That's why you get 10 pounds of chicken for like $5 at Walmart. God.
Oh, Ed, kick it off. Welcome to the Sofa Kingdom podcast with your hosts, Nelson,
Ian,
Ed?
and we fully do not support child labor. We do not support Walmart or child labor.
So you're going to get rid of your Apple phone then?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, I'm not going to do that.
That's right.
Let's not get
I mean, no more Apple products.
Your phone was built, assembled.
You got to pick up that Fairphone that everybody loves, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, doesn't Android use child labor?
You can get a phone that has Android that doesn't use any of that stuff. The Fairphone, quite literally. Yeah. That is their entire ethos.
I don't want no fucking Fairphone. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I enjoy smelling the slavery.
That's right.
In my phone.
It doesn't work.
16 hours and no break. Jesus. Oh, it smells so good. Fuck.
Jumping out of a window.
Here's some more meth. Get back to your station, Wang. Just kidding. Yeah, a lot of good wholesome fun here on the Sofa King podcast.
That was Dead Wong.
Yeah. Oh man, here we go.
The jokes never stop coming.
Who can we invite on to this is null and void? Oh god, I'm trying to think of.
There is no one that we know that we can actually invite.
I think
to
Alec.
make this
I think Alec is Asian. I can bring him on.
The fact that you're saying I think that
Listen,
he's Asian.
Man, I'm just scrambling for PR. I'm scrambling to save us.
I think I have one local Asian friend, but he's also half Mexican, so people might cancel him out. Like, he's still Latino.
I would say we've covered a lot of bases here. You know, the Jews like us. We keep bringing Margot on.
Yeah.
Matt's white. He don't count.
Well, he's like the epitome
Spanish,
of white.
we're covered.
I mean,
we're covered.
We're covered in Spanish.
We're covered Spanish.
Vikings. We're covered in Vikings.
Yeah. Had a few black people on here.
Yes.
We're good. Thanks to you.
Yeah. Men, women, children, everybody.
Even the unreleased episode, whatever that guy was. You know?
There's a reason that episode is unreleased.
I understand.
Yeah. The anger was real.
What's Dana? Face. Italian?
Yeah.
Italians.
Yeah.
We're good with the Italians.
So we worked through a good portion of
but we just dug ourselves in a hole there. Particularly with the Mandarin and Cantonese.
Listen, okay. Marvel fucked up the Mandarin. They even made him...
Iron Man 3?
Come on. They tried to make up for it in Shang-Chi by saying, I'm the real Mandarin, and I hired a fake Mandarin to throw it off, and nobody was buying that shit. Not even
Stanley.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah, I was trying to pull this up real quick. Because Puerto Rico was like the original melting pot. So technically, we are already covering Spain, Cameroon, Congo, Western Bantu, indigenous Puerto Rico, Portugal, Senegal, Mali, Jewish, it's in there as well, Sweden, Denmark, Basque, Benin, Togo, Northern Africa, Southern Italy.
That's all on your island?
Ivory Coast, Ghana, indigenous Eastern South America, Northern Italy, and Scotland.
You guys need to stop fucking people. ASAP.
Listen,
Puerto Rico gets around.
That's right.
Yeah, you do. My God,
babies, bro.
Cameroon.
Babies.
How the fuck did you get Cameroon?
All you gotta do is
in Ghana's country.
Listen, all you gotta do is bring one over and we fucking.
They brought a couple over.
Listen, if there was ever a place for the aliens to land and populate, it's Puerto
Which,
Rico.
by the way, did we touch on that? Did we touch on
did
that
not,
at all?
Which is fucking crazy.
The government just admitted they're fucking real. We have them.
Yes, we have alien life forms.
And all the internet can talk about is how we want to fuck them. That's all I've seen is
all
memes.
the memes. That's all the memes.
I have people like running. I can't wait to fucking
But
alien.
it's
Like,
outrageous, right? They talked about the technology, the backwards engineering, or
everything
reverse
Joe Rogan
engineering.
has said. Every person he's brought on, it's been real. All of it. And like,
So-
it's,
Basically, they need to apologize to Alex Jones.
oh yeah. Well, wait. They didn't say that there's lizard people. They didn't say
Yet.
No.
We don't know if the frogs are gay yet.
This is true.
Well,
They're making the frogs
actually,
gay.
even that one they've proved. The chemicals he was talking about, what it does is it turns the male frogs into female frogs. So what
Okay.
happens is in gestation, instead of them becoming male or female, it essentially turns them almost all into female. The ones that don't turn female, like half of those are incapable
Right.
of procreating, and then the few that are left over are a shell of what would be considered a male.
So that's in our food. That's what's going on.
So
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
some of
yeah.
the that's some of the chemicals that are in
Ezra
our
Miller's
food. Correct.
huffing them chemicals.
Uh-huh.
So the aliens.
They tested.
What kind of aliens are there? Are we talking like just like a humanoid type?
mean,
or
I
are we
don't-
talking like a tentacle monster?
Have they released photos?
It depends on which
Not
alien
yet,
you're talking
but
about,
that's
because
That's
depending
next.
on who you
Yeah.
talk to, there's several. There's the little grays, the tall grays. There's the furry folks. There's a handful that come up often.
There's furries.
Yeah, some people suspect the whole Bigfoot thing.
like
That
the
they
Yeti,
are.
Bigfoot.
Was that meme that Shay just shared? Like knowledge is knowing that Bigfoot is real. Wisdom is wanting to fuck him. I hope that like it's 100% true. I hope that they release the photos. I'm down, man.
I think it's dope. Like
I think now the human race is ready. We can handle it. Tell us.
Listen, they
Just give us
figured
it
that
all.
like they can't be any more fucked up than they already are. Release the information.
You might as well.
Let's let them know what's going on.
What
here.
are I mean? Like really? Do they not want to talk about Hunter Biden that much? That, like release the Area 51 files.
Diversion. Aliens are real.
Well,
they're visiting
when
us.
Michael Jackson was alive, whenever the government would do something, they're like, Mike, we need you to touch another kid.
Yeah. But
Mike, we need you to cook up a story.
I would believe that it's closer to like the Men in Black movie than we would like to think.
Yeah.
Like they are like living amongst us because like look, it
Skrull.
was proven, right? Dennis Rodman is kind of an alien. Like he's gotta be. Like
Nobody's
if there
that
was
good
ever
at
an
rebounds.
alien human hybrid, it's Dennis Rodman.
There have been government programs with essentially what would be considered like Men in Black, and they have done a psychological, warfare essentially on people to silence them. The one gentleman, whenever he would leave, they would go into his home, rearrange furniture, take things out, put things in. And then literally he ended up, in an insane asylum because they were constantly following him in a way where like, oh, I know they're following me. Because they're letting him see that they're following him. Then he'd go home and his furniture is changed around. And
I would love that job.
What a
They-
I
oh
would
my
love
God.
to be that guy that's paid to sneak into somebody else's house to fuck with him. I would come up with insidious fucking things.
they literally drove the man insane.
Put a dildo
They ended
in
up
the freezer.
dying in an
Oh,
asylum when
listen,
it was all said
while
and done.
you're sleeping,
Jesus
I would
Christ.
But that's the type of shit that that's one story that they admit to. That's not even all of the other shit that they don't admit to.
I would sneak into your house while you're sleeping and piss on your bed and then walk out so that every day you would be like, am I pissing on myself? That would be a great one to fuck with somebody.
That's what our friends on the Dudesy podcast refer to as piss blaming.
Piss blaming. But imagine like the government said to you, listen, Ian, we'll pay you a hefty salary to fuck with this guy's life.
Or with pleasure.
Right? Listen, if you're listening, government, I'm your man.
Oh my God.
I am your man. You call me, you give me the black suit, give me all the latest in like James Bond gear, I'm in.
Just plug all the different like HDMI cables in the wrong one. He comes in, his fucking PlayStation's in the wrong one. Like,
This
little
is
things
great.
like that.
This is great. Okay, but like
I get it. Back in the 50s and the 40s, you couldn't tell people. You
No.
couldn't tell the world, hey, by the way, we were
Right.
visited by people that are capable of interstellar travel.
Yeah.
Like, because of what happened with Orson Welles.
Admitting technology
world.
that we
Yeah.
couldn't match
Yeah.
was not a good thing to do, especially going through the Cold War and all that. They were like, we can't be out here saying there's things that we don't understand.
Yeah.
And
Didn't Orson Welles did a radio thing?
he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people, when they heard it and thought it was real, there are people that jumped out of windows.
They lost their shit.
And they didn't even see nothing. That was a radio telling them
It makes
that.
me wonder if maybe that was like even like a test. Like the government, like let's try something to see if people can really handle this at this time and place. Like right now, the world is so fucked up and so jagged with their thoughts and their views. It's just like
Aliens
no better time.
Well, yeah, they
No
literally
better time.
outright admitted to it.
Yep.
And what was great, because I watched, of course, I to be informed on it, I watched like the whole hearing, like I heard the guy talk, and the best thing ever is when they ask him, they're like, "Were people killed? Were people killed in the attempt to keep this information quiet?" And without it, like they asked him, "Would you like kale in your salad?"
Right.
He just goes, "Yes." I was like, fucking hell. I was, dude, like, didn't miss a beat. Were people killed in the attempt to keep this information secret? Yes.
Goddamn right.
I was like, wow, man.
Right.
Wow. Like,
Yeah.
holy shit. Like,
Because they figure at this point, I guess, the technology that everybody has at their disposal, i.e. these phones.
Yep.
You can record, you could see far away, you could get clear pictures, and more things are starting to pop out. Even with pilots, like back in the day, you can control the military a little bit more. Nowadays, everybody's like, fuck you.
all the soldiers have.
Yeah, like, I'm going viral. I don't give a fuck if I get sued.
It's hard to keep secret bases secret. They had an issue where,
Yeah.
because everyone had a phone, a lot of them are trying to stay healthy. They would have running apps.
Yeah.
And these companies that were running these apps were finding out, oh, why are all these people in the middle of this desert? Oh, that's all military
There's a base out there.
in the middle of nowhere, and we just
Hundreds of people just like to get together in the middle of New Mexico
so these
to run miles.
these fitness apps were finding out like, hey, there's bases here and here and here where you have like
I blame Pokemon Go, Ed.
Yeah.
oh
Like, hey, man,
Pokemon
there's
was
a
a whole
fucking Mewtwo in Area 51. Hurry up.
You know, but Pokemon Go did weed out a lot of the population that we didn't need.
I've seen people. I have fucking seen people with Pokemon Go fall into the Baltimore Inner Harbor.
Oh, my God.
I've seen it. I've seen a kid
It's fucking crazy.
walk off a fucking ledge into the dirty, scum-filled Baltimore Inner Harbor. And I was like, what? And his excuse when they got him out was he was trying to catch a Pokemon.
he was looking down and
I was like, were you looking for a Gyarados? What the hell?
bro.
You dove in, brother.
Hey,
what are
bro,
you doing?
Gotta catch them all.
Well, he fucking didn't catch that one. I don't give a shit what his phone was made of.
That was probably the worst part of it all for him. Is just like as he's being rescued, is
his
like
phone died.
My phone.
Yeah. I would rub it in. Did
I
you
don't
catch him?
remember my password.
Yeah, did you fucking catch him? You trying to get to Misty's water, Jim? I mean, what the fuck are you doing here? What's
You
the
definitely
strategy?
caused some other diseases falling in that
Oh,
water.
you need all of the shots. If you see the shit floating in that water, you need all the
man.
shots. Yeah, that's
So
that's,
nasty,
That's
bro.
not a harbor you want to fall in.
Yeah. But okay, so now what's next? Right,
We
the
have to release
government is going to
pictures.
tell us like ghosts are real. I mean,
Oh, I know that. Well, come on, man.
I mean, look, but there are hours and hours and hours of footage that people will watch on these ghost shows, like Ghost Hunters.
That's the best way to make. We should start
How-
a ghost show. You
How
need nothing.
many seasons of Ghost Hunters
And
International?
Nothing.
Over
Nothing.
several.
10 seasons of. Hello. Did you guys do that?
What was that? What was that?
Oh,
I can do it. I can do it on the spot.
it's just some dickhead in an abandoned building going. There's definitely readings.
I just love the technology. Like every season, they're like, I have this new device that lights up with whenever there's a paranormal activity around. I'm like, bro, you haven't even found a paranormal activity, so how can your device gauge whether one is happening or not?
So that looks suspiciously like a flashlight. So.
But also, I'm in.
Oh, dude. It's an easy way to make money. I used to watch that on the Travel Channel, those
Yeah,
guys,
huh?
and I was like, how the fuck? Like, I would tune in just to see, like, how are they employed?
Yes.
How
Oh,
is
yeah.
this a thing?
Yeah.
Like, you watch a show where nothing happens.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Uh-huh.
An
Like-
hour of nothing.
Like Destination Unknown. Josh Gates was the biggest salesperson ever. Like he was just such a charismatic, fun guy to watch that like I knew every episode he's not gonna find anything.
Yeah.
but I want to see what kind of stupid shit he does along the way. You know,
like Joe Rogan would go Bigfoot hunting.
I think
Two things you find when you go looking for Bigfoot. One, Bigfoot, and he said, well, two things you don't find. One, Bigfoot. The other, black people.
Yeah.
because they ain't wasting their time. They're not wasting their time.
Whole lot of white people in the woods.
Oh,
Whole
yeah.
lot of white people in the
I
woods.
think there's a lot of people,
With tin hats.
Yeah,
especially in
Aluminum foil,
America,
definitely.
who just never leave the town they grew up in.
Yeah.
Oh, I could have been one of them.
These
Oh,
shows
God.
are often just like, oh, yeah, another place that I'm never going to get up to go see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can attest to that. I know when I was in the service, one of the things that I came across at basic training was like people that are like, holy shit, I've never met a minority before in my life. Like, the only Puerto Ricans I've seen are on TV. The only black people I've seen are on TV because they're beholden to their town, their little piece of land that they grew up in, that their parents grew up in, and it's like 50 people and they all know each other.
I never saw a black kid until 6th grade, till middle school.
Wow.
That's how like far apart we were. Like,
That's a long time.
In Brooklyn, it was a huge melting pot. So there's always been a blend of different people and culture, and it's rich in that. And that's definitely the better way to experience things, because I think you have a broader view of how actually similar we all are versus the outward appearance that, well, you know, you're vastly different because you grew up here.
I used to like telling my friends from the city to come hang out and like go to a party like in my neighborhood, and they'd be like, "No, man, I ain't going out there." And I'd be like, "Why?" And they'd be like, "Fucking bears." I'm like, "Dude, no, what the hell? Like, what are you watching?" Like,
Obviously, I would have been
there's
like the
bears.
children of the corn.
That's
No,
what I'm saying, yeah.
I'm not going in the cornfield.
They expect to get attacked by like a fucking panther. I'm like, dude, no, like we're in Pennsylvania.
Like they're just running around
Yeah.
up there eating people like crazy.
Like you live in the country, you have to fight bears off your porch every day. Like, no, and maybe if you live in the North Carolina mountains,
but don't
no.
you? But don't you?
No. Nah, the only thing that might get you where I was at was white-tailed deer.
White-tailed deer,
You
yeah.
might get stomped out by a
Have
deer.
you ever been sprayed by a skunk?
My dog was.
Yeah.
My dog was, and that shit sucks, man. Vinegar and tomato juice. Like
That
Our-
dog is sleeping outside.
Yeah.
Our dog
you're-
was sprayed
trying
by
to
it in
and
Pennsylvania too.
It always gets in their eyes. You're like trying to wash them.
Oh,
it ends up getting in their eyes, and they're like, I'm sorry,
it's a
buddy.
smell you can't quite
awful.
explain.
It's awful.
Just,
Yep.
it's horrendous, and once it's in your nostrils, it's there for days.
You know how fucking country my family was? When my mom was growing up, she had a pet skunk. Swear to God, they took
they
its
take the smells?
they took its stink sack out. So what she used to do is like you'd come at her and she'd turn around and lift her tail.
And nothing would
Couldn't
happen.
spray, but then she started biting people.
It's like,
couldn't-
well, if I can't spray you,
if
motherfucker.
I can't spray, I'm gonna bite the shit out of you. Yeah. So they had to get rid of it.
There will be justice.
They had to, my mom's pet skunk's name was Sweet Pea.
Sweet Pea.
Sweet Pea. So that's a little bit.
Well,
where,
it wasn't
where I
until
grew up.
Florida where I met a man who had raccoons in his house.
Oh
Yep.
fuck!
He had a
had
bathroom
raccoon.
dedicated for raccoons.
I raised a raccoon. They both did that. Oh man, white people.
You were a country boy.
You can almost guarantee that if someone meets these aliens and fucks them, he's gonna be white.
But
He's
you know how
gonna be
many
white.
raccoons we came across in apartments and houses in Brooklyn?
0.
0. Exactly right.
Yeah, but the rats in fucking New York City are
was-
as big as raccoons.
There was a lot of snakes, a lot of weird spiders.
Really? Snakes in New York
People had a
City?
lot of snakes.
Yep.
Reptiles. Yeah.
People like to keep them as pets.
Yeah.
So they're the same people that the reason there's reticulated pythons in the evergreen.
Right,
now?
correct,
Okay, got
exactly.
it.
Correct, exactly.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right,
yeah.
awesome. Those people, yeah.
It's amazing to me, really, too. Like, speaking about the rats, like in New York, how crazy overpopulated they are in the city.
Well,
Like,
Master
they're-
Splinter's not a joke.
Yo, man.
That shit.
They are
overrun.
tremendously resourceful creatures. You can't get rid of those things. They've been around forever. Anywhere that there's enough humans living in one area, they're like, we got food there.
Yeah.
Remember that rats once killed 2/3 of the world's population.
Yeah.
From disease.
Yep.
Disease.
Bubonic,
Oh yeah.
bubonic plague.
There's some nasty little creatures. They everywhere they went, they brought the fleas. Everywhere the fleas went, people died.
We need to reverse bubonic them then. And, like, give it back. Like, here, bitches.
I think I heard something like about somewhere in Russia, they have like an active strain of like the bubonic plague. They're keeping it in a lab and like they're weaponizing it. I'm like, why?
Oh.
Why? Like we need to nuke that lab.
There are a handful of labs where they have those things kept because in case there is an outbreak, they need a clean sample.
Yeah.
Yeah, but weaponizing it and
Weaponizing is a separate.
Somehow I doubt the positive intentions of our Russian friends. I think the reason that thing's in that lab is to make it as virulent as possible.
I worked at a lab boxing influenza viruses in Pennsylvania, and I did it for
Umbrella?
I did it.
Yeah,
Umbrella. I did it for like 6 months, and that was probably the scariest job that I had. Like, that was like the only time where and I know it was just like the flu virus, but it was just like you literally had to there was like a conveyor belt, and you had to pull them out and box them, pull them out and box them. So you got to be kind of quick. But it's like, I don't want to drop any of this shit. You're in full garb, the goggles, the gloves and shit. And I'm like, I got to get the fuck out of this place.
Yeah. I've had some scary jobs. Like, it wasn't my scariest job, but I remember I did a shift. I worked at FedEx over the holidays because it's good hours and good pay because you're shipping billions of packages.
Yeah.
And it was right around the times that anthrax scare. Oof. Like when anthrax it was in the mail and people were like, oh God, And I remember me and this guy, I don't know if he was Ukrainian or Serbian or what, but he couldn't speak my language. And we were in this truck together. We were loading packages all day. And we had this package, and we were moving it, and my end slipped out of it was a long package. There was two of us moving it. And my end slipped out of my hand and hit the ground. The package broke open and this white powder came out. It was just shit. It was just packaging powder. But it was all over the news. Everyone was talking about this. So the powder comes out. And it's just me and him in this cab, and we're looking at each other, and we didn't have to speak each other's language. We were just the foreman saw me and him jump the fuck out of this truck, jump, we were up in the air, 8 feet, just jumped out onto the ground because we were fuck no, turned out it was just packaging powder,
but still, that's spooky as fuck.
Yeah, to 18-year-old Ian, I was like, I ain't dying,
yeah,
I ain't fucking dying.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you at all, man. No, there's some scary jobs out there. I know there's that show that
gynecologist,
the crab fisherman.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Deadliest Catch.
Fuck, man.
Yeah.
But how much do they make? Do you guys know?
They make 6 figures, and they make 6 figures in a couple months.
Well, the thing is, they go out for a short amount of time, but it's very, very risky. But if they do good, they might come back with $50 grand, $60 grand a piece.
You might get a one-way trip to Davy Jones' locker.
Yeah. So that? I mean, they go out for a couple weeks, but they might make what other people make for the whole year within that month or two.
Right.
But you're working the whole time.
But it's risk versus
You're out on
reward.
that ship.
Yeah, but you're working 20 plus hours a day. You're sleeping 3 or 4, and it's you're getting one meal, but it's you have to eat 3,000 calories in a meal because you're gonna go for the next 20 hours.
Yeah, I don't want to be working on a deck where you're gonna drop a giant steel cage to the bottom of an Arctic Ocean and it may wrap around your foot. Yeah. No,
and the guy operating the crane is he's been running for 30 hours already because you're
the only thing he's had to drink is
you're in a good spot.
Caffeine.
You're in a good spot, so you got to fill it up fast and get it back in because they can only be in the hold for so long. Yeah. So once you find a good spot, it's just go.
You go in that water
until
at
you're
night,
full.
You ain't coming out. Yeah, you ain't coming out. You go overboard, that's it.
That's Adderall City.
You get hypothermia.
30 foot seas.
Before they even turn around to find where you're at, you're already going into hypothermia.
Yeah, fucking ice bath. You don't have a chance.
Fuck, man. Nah, I couldn't fuck with that kind
Imagine an ice bath wave pool.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Well, that's like the big pipe fitters, too. That's another dangerous job that's out there that you make great money, but
underwater welder?
Guaranteed to come home.
Yeah, the oil rig guys. Those videos pop up on Insta every now and then. You're like, Jesus.
We had a guy.
They're whipping around these giant chains. All that thing has to do is kick back in the wrong direction and whip the chain back at you. You're done. Goodbye.
Dude, we had a guy up at the power plant. He was welding a pipe that was out in the river that ran into the power plant. So we had to take him out on the ice, on this boat. Cut in the ice. So we were on this vehicle that went out onto the ice. We cut a hole in the ice. And this guy put on this diving suit, went through the hole, down into this frozen water in Pennsylvania, and went the whole way to the bottom, and was you could see the light flashing under the water. I was like, dude, fuck that. Yeah. I was like, fuck that. Now, granted, he was making this is back in 2012, but he was making $120 an hour. But
that's badass money. But
he's in freezing fucking cold water.
Yeah.
Hell no.
Yes. Anything that goes wrong with your suit, with the welder, the guys, monitoring the boat with the ice, that's it.
Yeah.
You don't have a long time for let's fix this situation.
Still smarter than the Titanic 2 guys, though, right?
Oh, they're
Was it
they
Titanic
win-
2 or
yeah.
Titanic 3? What was
we'll call it Titanic too.
Yeah.
They won dumbest people of 2023.
God damn right. Yeah.
Rest in peace, but you're the dumbest people of 2023.
Man,
That's-
Yeah, it's one thing if you build that thing and you yourself are using it for your observations. It's another to have people pay to get on and see how cobbled together.
Yeah.
And he was very proud of the fact that it was cobbled together.
But here's the thing, right? They were going down there and essentially looking out of a shitty window to see things.
Yes.
They could have essentially sent that thing down there with cameras attached to it and got the same perspective and point of view without having to risk their lives.
And here's the thing. The majority of the time it went and failed to get down there. Mm-hmm. The majority of the time they had to turn around or some failure happened with the system and they had to be pulled back up. Like, it wasn't even like they had a high success rate.
Yeah, I'd have been out at the Logitech controller.
Yeah.
Fuck
How many times
that.
those things died and I died in the game?
They've had times where they were showing times where like one of the motors on it, the movement motors goes bad and they're just going in circles. They lose control because it was made to run with that little controller.
Yeah.
You don't have a robust control system. So when the one is only running the right and the other one's not, they can't be like, run it at this speed and only one here and one here to counterbalance. It's like, oh, well, one went out, so now it's just we're duck with 1 foot. We're just doing this, and we just gotta.
And the fact that they had no like safety measure that would just make it float to the top,
Yeah.
is beyond me. Like
They
any
had
kind of systematic failure, you at least have some kind of an out switch.
And they've had
something.
failures like that where power went bad, controller went bad. Like when you start reading about all the issues that they had, like the one person went on 3 times and all 3 times they had a systems failure where it's like, why are you getting on a second or even a third time?
Yeah. No, thank
When
you.
they've had some form of systems failure and had to abort. That to me is just crazy.
If I wouldn't have seen like a wire or something on it, like a safety wire, I never would have went.
And like, I'm all for you doing anything if it's you.
Right.
Like, wingsuit, have at it. It's just you.
You
Yeah.
slam
You
it
know,
inside the mountain, it's you.
Skydiving, bungee jumping, it's just you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when you're taking other people with you, there's a different level of safety you need to adhere to. 'Cause
Yeah, and
now
nobody was adhering to shit.
it's like when I see people on the motorcycles and they're doing wheelies in the road, it's like, take it to a track.
Yeah.
I don't care if you want to do it on the track and you're gonna hurt yourself, you hurt yourself. But if you fall in the middle of the road and you got 100 people with you and you now just clip everybody on the way coming in and now there's cars behind them also.
Yeah, but who the fuck let it in the water, right? Because think about this. We can't drive on the road without having our cars inspected, passing safety inspections, all of this shit, right?
Privately owned, right?
You
So
can-
who's allowing-
it's privately owned, but once you get into the water, it's different laws. But you can build a car. You can build your own car, and as long as there's certain requirements that are
Right.
met.
So shouldn't there be certain requirements for, I don't know, submarines in the fucking water?
You would think you never would have got my ass on that.
Yeah, no,
Well,
hell no.
technically, it
But
wasn't
see,
even a full submarine. It was only a submersible.
You're barely going to get me on a surfboard, let alone a motherfucking submarine. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I like to dip my toe in the water, dip it in the water, close to the land in case I got to run back in, I've seen way too many shark and whale videos lately. Whales are getting fucking fed up with human beings.
Oh, yeah.
They're knocking us off our boats.
That's what people think
They're
this
putting
was.
us in our...
Some people think the workers got that sub.
Bro.
Good, man.
That would be justice.
They saw that fucking thing down there, dong, dong, dong. Banged it around a little bit,
Yeah, yeah. They're like,
The
wait a
safety
second.
cable, see you in hell, fucker.
They're like, that's not James Cameron. We love James Cameron.
But he used different materials. He used carbon fiber for a bunch of stuff instead of like steel and titanium and other.
It was cutting corners, basically.
And
Yeah, James Cameron went down like a multi-million-dollar like high-end submersible.
But there is
Like,
not one thing that James Cameron doesn't do to like the craziest degree of something.
Yeah.
Like look at
Yeah,
the
like
movies he
James
makes.
Cameron's fucking vehicle could have went to space.
Yeah, goddamn right.
Like these other people went down a goddamn septic tank with like
That's how you get me to believe that the Fast and
Fans
the
on
Furious
it.
guys
Make
got
it
their
to
car into
space.
space. They tapped James Cameron on the shoulder and he made the car for them.
oh my god, dude. Yeah, they're the dumbest people of 2023.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Yeah, I would have to definitely agree with that.
Oh my god, I saw a really good horror movie today. Really good horror
What
movie.
was it?
I went to go see Talk to Me. Talk to Me. That's the one that we watched the preview with the hand.
The monkey
Yeah.
hand
Yeah,
thing?
it's like I didn't know it was made by like these people. It's an Australian film and it's an independent film, and it was made by these guys that used to make these videos on YouTube. I'm trying to think of the name of their troupe, but like
You said Australian guys?
yeah, they're Australian.
The koala guys.
Yeah, we'll call them that for now. Yeah, but it's actually it's a crazy.
I'm
ass,
sorry, the chlamydia boys.
yeah, whatever, whichever one. Everybody in Australia has chlamydia.
Good eye, mate.
No, it's not. Shit's burning. But essentially, it's if you're gonna see it, just
That's
fucking
amazing.
suffer it.
Animals
No,
that
tell
they
us.
can't. They can't get these animals to put their leaves down long enough to procreate, and they all have chlamydia.
Well, who wants to
How
fuck?
the fuck does that happen?
I ain't
right.
fucking if we all have it.
Yeah.
If everybody has chlamydia, I'm done.
Maybe
Just
stop.
clear this shit up.
They need to stop eating eucalyptus leaves and shit. And, maybe that's what's giving it to them.
Oh man, well it was a good movie. It was a horror movie normally isn't well thought out. Like this had a very unique premise to it. It was up there with Evil Dead Rise. Both of those are two fantastic horror movies that came out recently.
Okay.
It's like this creepy ass hand like this. They don't tell you what the origin is.
Right.
Like it's a porcelain hand that you believe that there's supposed to be a real hand of inside of it. And then some people say it belonged to a psychic, some people belong to a Satanist. Basically, kids are playing games.
Right.
And like as I was watching the movie, I thought, would anyone be this fucking stupid to play this game and film
Fuck
it?
yes.
Yes, they would.
Yes,
Yes,
they
they would.
would.
Because then
Yeah.
people went down that stuff.
Yeah.
So this hand's here, and basically they tie you to a chair, whatever the hell you're sitting in. They tie you in, and you put your hand out, and you grab this hand like you're shaking its hand, and you say, "Talk to me." And when you say "talk to me," you can see the dead, like they're across the table from you or wherever they are in the room. You can see
sick.
them, and they're looking at you. And like, but when you say "I let you in," they jump into you. And like the people's eyes go black, and like the rule is you don't let it go over 90 seconds.
Right.
They were told like when they had the hand, hey, no matter what you do, don't let it go over 90 seconds because then shit starts getting weird. The line's blurred.
No one's gonna break that rule.
Well, some fucked up shit happens in the movie, like some fucked up shit, and like it kept me interested the whole way. It was a unique premise. It's really dark. You don't know what, and for an independent company to make it.
Excellent.
I'm looking forward. Yeah, I'd give it. Horror movies are hard to judge, but I'd give it an 8.5 out of 10.
Okay.
It was
Damn.
good. It's got like a 90-something% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's definitely worth going to see if you're into the horror movie scene.
Okay.
And I would say probably it's best to leave it unanswered. The hand.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
do a second movie and a third movie and then try to expand on the origin. Leave it unanswered.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
mystery, a good mystery like that is best left unexplained.
Yeah.
Well, it's well done in the sense of you don't throughout the whole movie you don't know 100% what's happening.
Right.
Like they're like obviously you can tell shit's fucked up. Like it's like
Yeah.
evil stuff happening, but you don't really know what's happening. Even when the ending of the movie happens, it's up for interpretation.
That's
Like
pretty
the
good.
whole thing, it's like, man, like was she really seeing what she was seeing?
Right.
Like who was really the bad? Like
Yeah.
it's just some darkness, man. It's so bad.
But it's like
so bad.
back to like people being stupid enough to do something. Like it even goes back to like our childhood when you've seen Gremlins, right?
Yeah.
They're like, here's this cute little thing.
Don't get them wet.
Feed it after midnight,
Yeah.
and don't get it wet.
Two very plain and simple rules.
Easy directions.
Yeah.
that everybody seems to fuck up,
Yeah.
except for one guy. You know what I mean? So it's like that's a movie that I wouldn't mind seeing brought back. Like I can see them remaking a good Gremlins movie like for a newer generation because
Baby
it wasn't
Yoda?
quite horror. It was like horror comedy.
Yeah.
Kind of like a supernatural feel to it. Like there were moments where you're like, "Oh no," and then there were moments
Well,
where like,
they're
that
gonna
shit
be
is just fucking
doing
funny.
supposedly another Beetlejuice movie.
That,
So
that could be
Michael Keaton?
interesting.
what's her name that played Wednesday Addams is the daughter,
Okay.
Oh shit.
and it looks like most everybody is.
Jenna Ortega.
Yeah, it looks like most everybody is supposed to be reprising their role.
So Michael Keaton
Yes.
playing Beetlejuice. Good for him. I mean, he did a good job playing Batman. I was happy to see him. The Flash movie sucked.
The only redeeming quality.
But Batman, it was really dope to see him back in the mix, even just for a little bit. And I like how he went out on his own cape, so to speak. He was just like, I'm Batman.
And then Val Kilmer at the end reprising his role as Batman was good too.
They just wheeled him in there.
That felt kind of good.
Yeah, no, the Joker kicked him down a ramp.
I just can't wait for the musical.
I was just mad that he didn't have any speaking parts.
God, like Helen Keller singing the national anthem.
And they had Robin Williams playing Patch Adams, the Joker.
That would actually be a pretty decent movie.
No,
Robin Williams is the Joker?
Yeah, bring him back for Jumanji 5, you know what I mean? The little head in the bottle like Futurama. And just Chat GBT talking for him. I'm in. Let's do this
I'm excited for you to watch this musical when it comes out. Folly Ado.
I said I would watch it, so I will watch it.
What the hell? I think I said I would watch something. I agreed to something.
Firefly.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. If you go, yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Oh, I'm going to go, and then I'm going to enjoy. Because the trade-off is an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours of pain and punishment to my ear and my soul watching this musical.
Now, do I have to watch the entire season?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
I
So
mean,
that's
it's only
a 2-hour movie for fucking...
about 8 hours of watching.
Yeah, because it's only one season,
And
it
it's
was
a short season.
It was a short season to begin with.
Yeah. I think
Thank
it's only
God.
like maybe 10 to... No, you're actually really going to love this show.
All right.
I'm going to be surprised. If you don't like it, I would be surprised.
I don't know anyone who's watched it and not liked it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, from the dialogue to the acting to the chemistry of the actors on the show, it's just...
Let's see what the
rollout-
Rotten Tomatoes review is.
The rollout of Firefly when it came out was very odd. They didn't start with episode 1. They started with like episode 2 or 3. Then they went backwards to
You
like
guys said
1
it's
and
all
2.
over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then it kept jumping time slots, and it was on a weird channel for that type of
UPN 9.
show at like a really weird time slot.
It was like UPN 9 during the kids' cartoons hours.
Yeah, it was like at like 5 p.m. It's like you had to be like walking in the door from work to turn it on. It was right in between like the different program. It was very, very odd.
So what's it say?
Why it was
What's the
there?
IMDb?
It's got a 97%. That's huge.
Goddamn right it does.
Yeah.
No, it really was.
And those 3%, they're wrong.
Yeah, absolutely wrong. It's one of those shows that is just highly regarded for what it was, and like between the comedy, the seriousness, like everything,
and consider all the shit that's happened to Josh Whedon, and it's still 97%.
So now
People are
here's
still
another
like,
thing.
I can't do it to the show. Sorry,
They're saying
can't
that-
downvote it for him.
Gal Gadot is in the works with doing a Wonder Woman 3 with the one and only James Gunn.
Yep.
Interesting.
So
I've heard that too.
he's definitely gonna bring her. I think he can save the franchise, and she is the right person to play Wonder Woman. She just needs somebody to tell the right story.
So we
and
did,
there are
instead of Wonder Woman 1984, we go to
1985,
1992, and she's in LA.
1992. Yeah, just
She's in LA.
Just how about just Wonder Woman? And like they really could have just told any other story with any other villain, and they wasted one hell of an actor, like one of the best actors of 2023, 2022. They put him in this villainous role and shit the bed with the whole premise of the story. You know, so that's really, you got the fucking Mandalorian in there. How do you fuck it up?
He's Father of the Year everywhere else he goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Well, even Pedro Pascal can't shine in DC.
No.
Yeah.
And
I think nobody's career does well there.
yeah, I'm really looking forward to what James Gunn does. I think if anybody could save it, it's him. And if he can't, I think he'll probably gracefully
Can we all just
bow
agree that
out.
this is it, though? Like, if James Gunn can't save it, that's it. The
Yeah.
company's dead. It's dead.
Yeah, I would agree. And they should
Is anyone going to see Blue Beetle?
I'm not.
Not after not after the announcement that like anything before the Superman movie is not going to be considered canon.
I'm just not going because it doesn't look good.
I'm not excited for anything superhero related. I'm not excited for like. I'm not excited for fucking the Marvels. I'm not excited for Blue Beetle. I'm not excited even for the
Stop
Sony
it.
Craven.
Nope. Fuck that. Deadpool.
That's not out yet. That's not out yet.
But you would
Deadpool's
be.
in its own.
But you would still. It's still superhero.
Yeah, it is. But
And you would
Deadpool's
love
in
it.
its own category.
And it's
I'll
gonna
be there
great.
opening day,
and it's
for
gonna
that.
be great.
It's gonna be fantastic.
Okay. All right.
You know what?
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
That was good.
All right. So
I saw that.
there
But
are
those
some
are-
still things out there.
Those
that
are
great.
two. Those
after-
are two that almost sit in their own universe.
Exactly.
They're just
After
telling their own
Flash-
story.
After Flash, I was like, oh, this fucking sucks.
They are also in the works with a Spider-Man reprisal. Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man 4.
I saw that.
Interesting.
I'd see that just because Toby's my Spider-Man.
Yeah, and
I love Tom, but Toby's my Spider-Man.
I think he could kill it. Like if they give him like kind of like a way out. Like this is his last story. That would be the best way to do this.
I
Like,
wonder if
he dies at the end
use
and goes
him-
off on his spider web.
They use him to introduce Miles Morales.
That would be dope.
That way they get rid of Tom Holland.
And then they bring in the Miles Morales Spider-Man.
Is
and
it going to be like Sony doing it, though?
Still Sony, they still own it. So
Yeah.
Fucking
you have,
shit.
you
But look,
have
here's
to
the-
still worry about Sony shit in the bed.
But
will.
here's the thing:
They
the
will.
one,
They're gonna shit the bed with
one
Kraven, too.
thing,
Kraven the Hunter.
one thing that they've always been able to get right has been Spider-Man.
Because that's been working
can't do it right
hand
with
in
his
hand.
villains.
Yeah.
That's been working hand in hand with Marvel when they do the Spider-Man
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Because all the stuff they do all on their own.
It's pretty shit. It's pretty shit. I mean, they took what could have been a great Venom movie. No, the first Venom movie was good enough to be
Yeah,
like,
it was good. It was okay.
I will watch a second one.
Yep.
And then when you went in and you watched the second one, you're like, Woody Harrelson, Carnage. This is gonna be fucking
You
great.
cannot do it rated PG-13.
Come on.
He's Carnage.
Yeah.
He is
They
violence
really-
and insanity
Yes.
incarnate.
And that's what everybody wanted to see. And also, like, if you're gonna make a movie about the villain, leave the villain a fucking villain.
Yeah.
I'm happy with. I would go watch. Like, I would have watched Morbius and enjoyed it if they didn't water it down.
Yeah.
Make it a vampire movie. Show the blood.
He's
show
the
the
bad
gore.
guy.
Make
He's
him
the
a
bad
bad
guy.
guy. Yes.
It's Morbin time.
They,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
can't keep trying to make the villains anti-heroes.
Yeah. And make it the villain that fucking wins at the end.
It looks like they're doing that with Kraven the Hunter.
Yes, but Kraven
Which,
the
by the
Hunter
way,
is an
Russell
anti-hero.
Crowe's in it.
Even
He's
that,
an anti-hero.
even that in the trailer, they're like, oh, he's abused by his parents.
Yeah,
Look at
no.
him. Like,
They're making him an anti-hero.
they're already trying to humanize who's supposed to be a villain.
But
He's
to
a
be
villain.
fair, he is a great actor.
Yeah.
But that doesn't really matter in this day and age. The storyline could be complete.
Yeah, they'll take a great actor and then they'll
Yeah.
put him in a fight scene against kids.
Yeah.
You know, Christian Bale can only do so much.
Well, it's kind of like what they did with the Scarlet Witch. Here is this super great and interesting character, and then in that last Doctor Strange movie, they kind of like wrote themselves into a corner by making her this big evil.
Yeah.
Where they easily could have explained it where it was like Doctor Strange and the Scarlet Witch are fighting an evil version of themselves.
They
I
could
don't
have.
think Sam Raimi reads comics. And
They-
paper.
they-
no,
No.
he definitely he
No, they
admitted
could've-
to not even watching the show.
They could have had it end where
love it.
she was an alternate realities Scarlet Witch, where
Yep.
like, oh, ours remained good, but here's the other path she could have gone down.
Yep.
To me,
Easily.
I get it. To me, that feels like laziness.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Own up to what you did,
But
Sam.
there are rumors that
You
she
fucked
is
up.
going to be a villain in Loki season 2. So they might be bringing her back there along with Kang.
So she could have been still dealing with the Darkhold there,
Yes.
because
Still
Loki is bouncing around through time. So his time frame of where that is at is kind of unknown until it comes out.
Still not getting Disney Plus.
I mean, you don't want to watch the Secret Invasion?
No, it's not a secret. It sucks.
Oh man, it really, really fucking did. Like, and you know what? Let's be fair. Samuel Jackson's like 97 right now,
Wow.
and no, he's like 76, I think.
He's getting up there, yeah.
It's like
He shouldn't be fucking Skrulls.
he shouldn't be fucking Skrulls, and he shouldn't be a secret agent anymore. You know what I mean? So
You can't be a secret agent. You're a black guy in Russia with an eye patch.
you know what?
I wonder who that is.
You know what was funny though?
What
Is
about
like
Nick Fury?
they did touch base on that.
They
Like,
did point that out. They
every
did.
time
Yeah,
like
they
he walked
should.
into the room, they're like, You're in Russia, bro.
If you're the head of S.H.I.E.L.D., if
Yeah.
you were fighting alongside the Avengers, if you are like this intel guy everyone knows about, you can't walk around.
Because
You
when
can't.
Shield went
You have
down,
an eye patch.
everybody found out who Shield was, and they're like, "Oh, this guy."
Yeah.
So
If
everybody knows who he is.
If I'm at a fucking Miami Dolphins game, I'm gonna be able to spot the black guy with the eye patch and the trench coat. The other side of the hey, Nick Fury.
But here's what's fucked up. Like, how stupid is it to collect all the powers of all the superheroes and then put it in one vial? Like
one little jar.
it's like the whole premise of the whole season.
There's no way
was
it's
just
pure.
ridiculous.
There's no way because you can't put all that power into
Yeah,
a
but
vial.
it just didn't make sense. Like, why would they do it? Why would it be accessible in such a
So
way?
wait a minute. So they actually created a Super Skrull in the show? Like he had
They
all
did.
the powers?
They created
He
two Super
He had all the
Skrulls.
powers of what?
All of them. A Captain Marvel, the Avengers, Captain America, the Hulk,
Whoa, he had all their powers?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
He had all their powers.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
It's not.
He was able
Yeah,
to
it's not
So
just.
who
it's-
stopped him?
It's
another Skrull, another Super Skrull.
it's not just the Fantastic Four.
It was a good Super Skrull versus a bad Super Skrull.
I mean, really,
You see the problem here, right?
Fuck you, Disney. Fuck you. Fuck you with a big rubber dick. I can't do that. I
the
can't
Super
watch that.
Skrull was their easy door open to introduce the Fantastic Four.
Yep.
That's what it should
Yeah,
have been.
yeah.
It should have been the Fantastic Four's powers.
Yeah,
And
That's
then
when I first heard about the
you
Skrulls.
bring
was
in the
animated-
Fantastic Four.
Animated
Yeah.
Fantastic Four
Yeah,
cartoon.
because that's who the Super Skrull always was.
Uh-huh.
He was a copy of their powers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But no,
Not just a character in what was that fighting game that he was in? The Super Skrull was a character. Marvel vs. Capcom.
Marvel vs.
3.
Capcom. Yeah, yeah.
The Super
But-
Skrull.
Yeah, but the problem was like they gave him and her Captain Marvel's powers.
Also, it was what's her name? It was Khaleesi.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
You know, Groot's powers, Captain America's powers, Hulk. There was like they were
What a
turning
waste
into
of
Hulk
powers.
hands.
Groot.
Groot. Yeah, there was stretchy arm in it, and you know, so there was just some.
This
weird,
seems like lazy writing.
weird-
That's
it
lazy
was.
fucking writing.
It was.
It's
Same people that made Velma. This is just.
I don't think it's
It
as
mi-
bad. It's not as bad as Velma. That's a different level of bad.
Well, listen, if aliens are actually real, I hope they show up and just fucking nuke Disney. I mean, come on, man. Like,
Thank you for joining us at the Sofa Kingdom podcast, where Ian wants to nuke Disney.
well, come on, like Disney's. How many LPs? How many
Hey.
things have we watched Disney destroy now?
We all know who's voting for DeSantis.
I'm just saying. Like, fuck, man. They got it's like when you go to Disney, you should see the corpse of like Darth Vader, Obi-Wan, Indiana Jones. Now the Marvel characters just strewn up as you walk into the park. Like, welcome.
Well, they're talking about making Harrison Ford the Red Hulk,
Yeah.
the General, the Red Hulk.
I mean, they had a guy that's perfectly fine to play the general, but he's not a big enough name, so I'll bring somebody else in.
Yeah,
Harrison Ford can't function.
well, he's gonna be all CGI at this point. That seems to be where his career is headed. CGI.
I don't want to.
ChatGPT.
Yeah, I just like became a working professional, and I'm already tired of life. The Red Hulk.
Yeah.
What? Who's making these decisions?